All right.
Got
Hey,
it.
Dan.
Hey, Jen. So good to see you again.
You too. Everybody, this is Dan Friedman. Thanks, Dan, for being here and taking time to share your insights and process. Let's just
Yeah.
jump right in.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. What do you think the role of the demo is in 2024? Is it just marketing? Is it to secure an agent?
I think a demo certainly is necessary to have on your website. So you've got something to show, especially if you don't really have a big body of work for sure. You need something. But demos largely have always been for really securing an agent ever since the pay to play sites came out and that sort of thing. And even then, people were able to go to smaller production houses and basically walk in and say, "Hey, I'd like to do voiceover." And we would try out. I mean, we're going back many years now, right? We try out, and if you had some potential, then we might work with you. But nowadays, we obviously aren't really, unless you're getting coaching specifically, right? The
Right.
studios aren't developing people anymore. So that's kind of the only way that we get to know you a little bit before even working with you or before whatever stage of the game you're at, right? But you're going to need a demo at some point if you would like to, at the very least, have something on your own website that you can share that people can get who you are very quickly and what you can do very quickly.
How long have you been producing demos?
I started producing demos in 2002.
Okay.
So a long, long time. I didn't have to produce demos in the first production studio I began working at when in voiceover specifically because we specialized in telephony. And there
Okay.
wasn't a whole lot that we needed to promote with that. We had basically about a dozen talent who we used just all the time. And honestly, in that time in the voiceover world, there probably weren't more than 100 or so that
Right.
were actively doing.
Yeah. Definitely has changed.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
what what genres do you produce?
So I've done a little bit of everything in my day, but I have mostly done a lot of commercial, a lot of corporate narration, e-learning, those types of things. But I have done radio imaging, I have done promo. The one that I have done video games, I've done telephony demos even. But what I haven't really done a lot of is animation. It's not really, I live in Asheville, so it's a little
Right.
different here, you know. It's not a big market that we're going to be doing a lot of that here. So never has been my specialty for animation.
Yeah, and they're so much more complicated. I
Eh,
think it's well, it's a niche kind of thing.
let me put it this way, and I don't mean to brag. In any this, I don't mean this to sound braggy, but I've been doing this a long, long time, right? So I kind of know I can listen to an animation demo and I kind of know how to put that together pretty quickly. I
Okay.
don't do it a lot, but it is something that I can figure out and make competitive just because I've been doing this so long. Not, I mean, yes, I feel I'm very good at what I do, but again, it's because I've just been doing it so long, and I can listen to just about any voiceover production of any kind, and if not duplicate it, but come close in quality or that sort of thing.
Okay. What criteria must a talent have before you'll agree to produce their demo? Do you require a studio evaluation? Do they have to have their own studio?
Yeah, well, most of it is collaborative anyway. So I generally, if people are coming to me and want a demo, then we've been working together in some capacity generally. I do get the inquiries of, will you make a demo for me? But I always insist that you got to at least read for me if I don't know you, right? So I have to know, yes, I would like to know that you could record a demo from your home studio because again, that's how we do it these days. So that's a must. And you also have to have a certain level of ability. So if you came to me did a free meet and greet with me and you said, Dan, I'm here to meet with you because I just wanted to make a demo. I'm not interested in coaching. I would say, okay, I'm going to give you three types of scripts. Let's hear you read. And if you if I like what I hear, then yeah, I would have no problem working with you on a demo. But if I don't like what I hear, if I think that, you need some work, then I'm just going to be honest with you and tell you I don't think you're ready for a demo and I'm not going to make it.
Perfect. Now I know that you also coach, and you don't require coaching as part of your process necessarily.
Well, again, one thing I love J. Michael Collins' answer to this, and that is that everything in voiceover, the answer is it depends, right? Because that really is true. That's a brilliant thing to say because it depends on where you're at in life with your career, right? There's all kinds of different situations. If you're coming to me and you're a working pro and you want a demo, and I know your name and reputation, then it's not really a problem. I wouldn't require coaching. If you're coming to me and I don't know you at all, then like I said, I'd want you to at least read for me so I get a sense of it. A lot of people don't even ask me about that, right? They don't even say, "Can I read for you?" They just automatically it becomes, well, let's do a coaching session and see how we do from there, right? So, it really does depend.
Okay. All right. Um, and this is a tough question, but do you think there should be sort of a separation of church and state? Like, do you think coaches should just coach and demo producers should just do that and casting directors should just cast? Or do you
No.
think it's cool to be able to do all of it?
No, I think that it's fine to be able to do all of it if you do it well. I I feel I'm in a very unique situation, right? I never even got into audio engineering for the purpose of getting into voiceover. I got into audio engineering because I wanted to work with music, and voiceover happened to be something that was really well suited to my abilities 25 years ago that I had currently had, and also uh was more stable for a family life that I was about to embark on.
Okay.
So, in that case, I feel I'm in a unique position because I started as an audio engineer producer. I learned voiceover along the way and had a decent, what I consider a very significant level of success. And I've experienced all the ups and downs with all of that as well. So I don't know why first of all, I probably said first of all a million times, but I will say that I'm just the type of person who needs to have his hands in a lot of things. It's just how it's how I thrive. And by being constantly learning, constantly getting into something, right? Experiencing things. That's how I thrive. So I don't really see a problem with it. I will say, and I'm going to just give a little caveat to this, is that whatever I say here is not burning on anybody else. I don't even know how half of the other coaches run their businesses or demo producers run their businesses. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm my own guy and I'm going to do what makes me feel comfortable and ethical. But I don't really see a conflict of interest between, say, coaching and being a demo producer. I think that's a natural progression because all along I've been directing talent on sessions before I was even making demos for them for that specific talent or whatever the situation. So for me, that is a natural progression. I find a greater conflict of interest, and I even put this out on social media because I was struggling with it so badly. I actually find a little bit of a greater conflict of interest if I'm auditioning for jobs that maybe my students are also
Mm,
auditioning for. I really struggled with that. And I put it out on social media, and the feedback I got was basically, "Don't care. We don't care." So, okay, well, that's good to know. But I am still very conscious of that possibility and always a little bit afraid. I know that if there's an audition that goes out and it came from a lot of people, or came from a lot of agents or
hmm.
a lot of people, or there's a good chance one of my students is auditioning for that. So I'm probably not going to do it. One thing I for sure have done since I've committed myself more to coaching in the last, really since the pandemic, is that I lost my train of thought there a little bit, but I know I've committed myself to 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 doing this and doing it in an ethical and a right way, what makes me feel good about myself doing it. And honestly, I'd rather see other people get the jobs for this because they're all fired up, they're all excited about it, and they want to do it. I've been doing it so long, it's a little hard for me to get fired up and excited about that. I actually thrive off of other people getting fired up and excited about it. It makes me feel great when I get a student coming back to me with a success story, for
Okay.
sure.
So let's talk a little bit about your process when you're producing a demo. Um, do you write custom scripts or do you rework a script that's already out there when you're crafting a demo?
Completely collaborative. So I always start usually by saying, okay, I'm going to give you 10 categories and I want you to pick a company or you can find a script if you'd like. And I want you to find something in each of these 10 categories that a company you like, that you resonate with, something local, something national, something regional. Just be conscious of those things, right? Do you have an involvement with it? Is it right? Is it a product, service, or information that you use personally and have a relationship with, or just feel good about when you see it? So that's how it starts. And then once I have that, oftentimes, if you're bringing me a script, we'll rework it so that it works for the situation. Because what I have found a lot of times when people are in other demos that I've heard is that they are always, a lot of times, every read is coming from the same point of view, or it is right. So we have to I change all that up to make sure that the point of views are different, the energies are different, the tones are different. I'm already starting to hear the music of the demo in my head as we're working together. So I want to make sure that it's going to be dynamically interesting and all of those things, but it has to start with you. So that's how we begin, is we really begin with that. Give me a number of companies or product services information that you like. We begin there. We either write scripts, rewrite scripts that maybe you brought to me if you're giving me a commercial example, for instance. So and if we come up with something just even ad lib on the fly while we're recording, we might use that too. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We don't have to stick to the words on the page, especially for a demo, right?
And you do all of the production work yourself? Do you have a team or is it just you?
I am a one-man show. When you work
Okay.
with me, you get me. That's the bottom line. That I wish I had a team.
Right.
I'll hire the VO Booth Besties to be my team
Oh,
because
awesome.
I know, right? Really. I mean, you guys are killing it. So, no, I don't have a team. It's all me. So like I said, when you work with me, you get me.
Okay. Um, I've got two questions left. In the time that you've been producing demos, what shifts have you seen in the industry regarding the standard for demos?
Yeah. So the biggest shift is the time fluctuations. People always seem to want to mess with, is it a minute? Is it a minute and a half? Is it 2.5 minutes? What, right? The truth of the matter is this is actually science backed. And a minute is really perfect because that's going to give you an opportunity to listen to several different cuts without having to listen too long. People tune out within seven
Mhm.
to 8 seconds. So if you don't have them in that amount of time, then you're not going to get them anyway. So, and it's science backed, and it's been science. I've been doing this for this part of what I do goes all the way back before was even in voiceover, because we used to do radio research music tests. We would get a room full of our listener group and we would play 7 to 8 seconds of 500 songs, and they picked out their top 100, and that determined a lot of the playlist for the radio stations. And like I said, it's science backed, and it goes back more than almost 30 years now.
Yeah. Okay. And the last question. It's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Why why should a talent choose to work with you specifically?
Well, because we get along. Hopefully, when somebody reaches out to me, we start talking and they just hopefully they get a good vibe from me. That's the biggest thing. It's really about vibe. They can know that first of all, I could talk about my experience all day long. That's not going to convince a lot of people because they're not doing that kind of research. But if they reach out to me and hopefully we talk and they understand my process and they like what I have to say and that sort of thing, fantastic. But the results is what really matters. And I think that there are people that know what I do, have seen what I do, have heard what I do, and they get and they hear the results that happen. And most importantly, really, they're coming to me for confidence. Because if you're a new talent and you don't know a lot about this, then I'm going to provide you with so much information and so many tools to help you feel confident about moving forward in this or feel confident in deciding that maybe this isn't for you. On the other hand, if you're a professional, usually when a professional is coming to me, I shouldn't say usually, but oftentimes when a professional is coming to me, it's because their bookings have gone down. They don't understand why, a
Mhm.
number of things that could have shaken their confidence. So I'm not here to down. I am totally here to build you up and make you the best talent that you can be. And not just the best talent you can be, but I have extensive training in also public speaking and things of those that nature that I'm helping accountants. I'm currently helping a French chef with their speaking ability to so that they can do things like this more confidently and do more of these presentations because everybody has an opportunity to be a public speaker these days.
Yeah.
And so I'm not just helping voice actors, but I love helping voice actors. I've always been on the talent side from high school. I was backing up my best friend's band as their tech guy. So I'm always in support of the talent, and I just want talent to succeed. And if I can succeed myself in a little area here or there and all that too, that's good for me as well.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Dan.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure. Anytime.